Hello, gorgeous. It's Tuesday. It's Bex. It's time for another Tune Up Tuesday. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Oh my gosh, today is such a juicy topic. I'm asking you, where do you stop yourself and your journey, your road to attracting great love? And this question comes up so much in the women that I work with and my audience, and it's come up a lot in my own life too. And so this idea of stopping points is really like what I want to dive into today with you. So I want you to just think for a moment, where in your life do you stop yourself? Like, and this could be anywhere really, but like specifically if you're tuning into my stuff around attracting great love, where do you stop yourself when it comes to attracting great love? Because we all have our stopping points. I recently wrote about this, and we either stop ourselves. I think the analogy that I use in the email that I wrote was, we have this stopping point on a Saturday night if we're out at a party, and there's this point at which we hit our moment where it's like, okay, I'm done. And we pull ourselves off the dance floor, bring ourselves home, and tuck ourselves into bed, and that is the end of the night. And we may have also encountered these stopping points in our career, or if you're an entrepreneur, building your business, because boy, oh boy, are there tests and hurdles in any career advancement. And the same rings true for our love life. We have tests in our love life, and oftentimes we experience those as frustrations or disappointments or finite truths about love, about attracting great love, about men, about ourselves, beliefs. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. And the more we encounter these moments in our life, it creates this stack of evidence to reinforce these finite truths. So, all right, let me give you some examples, because I'm kind of talking up here. So back in the day when, before I met Nick, I had really great men coming my way. I mean, there were definitely some unmentionables, but when it came down to relationship, I had the good fortune of being in like 3 pretty decent relationships from my early 20s to my early 30s. And however, those relationships always got to a point about 2.5 years in, where there was something that wasn't right. There was something that just wasn't clicking or wasn't working. And because I didn't have the self-awareness or the communication skills to move past it, that was my stopping point. That like this person just wasn't challenging me anymore, or couldn't grow with me, or I didn't see a future with them. And so I didn't have the skills or the tools to effectively sever the tie or release the relationship. My behavior was much like throwing a match on a dumpster and like walking away from it, like, waiting to exhale style, which is why I call them my dumpster fire breakups, because the experience of releasing those relationships was just this pent up needs not met. And then when I finally did release them, it was just like this explosive. But what I'm getting at is that I would consistently reach this stopping point in relationship. And for me to move past, it was inconceivable to move past it with this person. It was always like, well, there's got to be somebody better out there. There's got to be somebody who's going to meet that need. All right. So that's how it showed up for me in relationship. But a lot of the women that I work with, it shows up, these stopping points show up even before we get into relationship. It happens in our dating process, where it's like, oh God, we've got maybe a series of unavailable men, maybe like 5 in a row that contact us online, or we get involved, or a false start. That could also be like a stopping point that you get to. You meet somebody with a lot of promise, and there's a lot of chemistry, and there's a lot of interest and butterflies, and ooh, it's it. And then like 2-3 weeks later, they evaporate or disappear, or otherwise like it doesn't happen. It doesn't pan out. So when we experience these things enough times, what's happening is it's triggering our subconscious pattern recognition process, which is just basically gathering more evidence to support this belief, this finite belief that things are always a certain way. for you or in love or in relationship. And if you take an internal scan and kind of check within, you might find that you're holding on to some of these beliefs. Like, I can't have what I want. What I want doesn't exist. I am just too picky. I'm never going to find lasting love. I'm never going to meet someone who matches the vision that I hold for great love. Okay. So whenever we've got the words always or never in a belief, it has crossed that line to this finiteness. All right. And so to overcome that finiteness, we have to look at our stopping points. We have to look at like where it is that we get to that point and then throw our hands up or flip the table and walk out of the restaurant. Okay. Because the thing is that, I mean, a lot of times we hit those stopping points and we think it's a sign from the universe and we're just not meant to move forward. But the truth is that if you have the desire in your heart, there is a solution for that desire. There is a person out there that meets your vision of great love. I promise they are thinking about you right now. I know this to be true. But for us to get to that vision, we have to really address these stopping points, and we have to recognize that this is not a sign from the universe, not a sign from God. And if so, it is a representation. It's the green growing edge of your belief system. It's like the boundary of your evolutionary development. So for example, in my disastrous breakup series that I was talking about, like I was saying, I didn't have the skills or the tools to understand what was happening in those relationships, nor did I have the skills and the tools to release the relationship with kindness, with love, with empathy, with self-forgiveness, with all these like things that at that time I'm like, who are you talking to? I don't have time for that. All right. The point is that was the green growing edge of my evolutionary development. And the same is true in attracting great love. You know, if we have these series of like unavailable men or false starts, or even like your ex shows back up in the picture and you're really tempted to get back with them because it's familiar and it's easy, but is that a pattern? You know, because if you're able to move through that stopping point, if you're able to break that pattern and keep moving forward to the vision that you actually hold for great love, that's where the juice is. That's where the gold is on the other side of these stopping points. All right. Oh God, stopping points. Yeah, another way of thinking about them is it's your pain threshold, right? So for example, in the attracting love process, you know, you might stop right when it starts to hurt really badly, or right when you're forced to look within versus looking externally. And this is that pain threshold that once you just buckle down and like get cozy and get intimate with that pain, that's when the magic happens. Okay. So it's really hard to put it into terms without like a specific example. So if you have a specific example, if you have a pain threshold or a stopping point that you recognize in your love attraction journey, I would love to hear about it. Drop me a comment in the link in the box below, or if it's, you know, something that you hold close to the chest, you can certainly private message me. I'd love to hear about it. And if I can help you, girlfriend, I certainly will. All right. So I hope this has been super helpful. And remember that stopping point is not a sign for you to actually stop, but perhaps to, there was a great acronym that I found online. I think it was today. It was STOP, which is stop. Take a look. Oh gosh, I really should have written it down. I'm sorry. Take a look, observe what's happening, and then proceed. All right. And I love that so much because of the word proceed. It's not actually stop, but it's like, yeah, pause, investigate, evaluate, observe what's there, and then proceed. All right. So listen, if you are in need of support in that step of proceeding, reach out. I have programs and coaching offerings that could very well be the very missing link that you need to move through your own stopping points in an effort to attract your great lasting love. All right, so I hope that this has been super helpful, and I Would love to hear from you if you have a question or a scenario on your journey to love that I can address on another Tune Up Tuesday. Drop me a comment in the box below, shoot me a private message, and I would love to feature your question on an upcoming Tune Up Tuesday. Till next time, I love you so much, and I will see you back here. Bye.